Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. Now, this is where I take a deep dive into a particular subject, a particular creator, a particular performer, a particular production company, and I kind of do a deep dive on it. And today, I'm going to be talking about Alakazam Unlimited. Now, Alakazam Unlimited launched just after Blackpool. It launched just after Blackpool 2024, and it's basically the streaming platform for Alakazam Magic. Now, there's a ton of streaming platforms out there. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. You've got the OGs in this industry, people like Christian Grace, people like Ollie Mealing. You've got myself, the Netrix. You've got Magic Stream with Illusionist. There's a lot of different ones out there. So what makes Alakazam different to all the others? Well, there's a few different things, and I'm going to go through those with you right now. So first of all, Alakazam have been going since the 90s. Now, because they've been going so long, they have an absolute metric ton of content. They've been producing DVDs, they've been producing tricks, they've been producing products for so many years, and they've worked with some absolute titans in the industry. It means they have a huge back catalogue. Now, the other thing about Alakazam is they have resources, and what I mean by that is it's not just one person sitting in their bedroom. You have a team at Alakazam that continues to grow. It means that the streaming platform is going to be shown some respect. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of streaming platforms, they kind of set up in a big hurrah and everyone talks about how amazing they are. And normally within about 0.5 seconds, no content is added to the platform. That was one of the big problems that people had with Illusionist's Magic Stream back in the day. It was not being updated. So it launched with some stuff, but then nothing was added. And the thing is with the streaming platform, if things aren't going on and continuing to evolve, people aren't going to continue to subscribe. Look at the Netflix, for example. Netflix are constantly adding new movies, new TV shows, so that people are always seeing something new. It's what I wanted to do with Netrix. I wanted to make sure that we're always adding new material. And that's one thing that Alakazam have been able to do because of their big back catalogue and because of people like Jamie Dawes, who has been brought in as a full-time member of the Alakazam team, primarily to look after Alakazam Unlimited. It means that you're always going to have new content that's been uploaded. Now, one of the big problems that people had initially when Alakazam first launched Unlimited, or not one of the big problems, but one of the things people were concerned with is it just going to be a platform where you're just going to be putting a load of older stuff on and then that's it? Not that there's anything wrong with that, because there's some real hidden gems in the Alakazam back catalogue. But the answer to that is no as well, because they're putting new material on the platform all of the time. So constantly new stuff is being updated. Not just older stuff that they're uploading, but new items as well. In fact, one of the series that they have on Alakazam Unlimited is The Journey, where they actually sit down and interview a well-known person in Magic and talk about their journey through Magic. And they're constantly adding new journeys. They're constantly adding new tricks and new routines and new ideas and new concepts, as well as all the original stuff. So there's a lot of material on there. There's a lot of stuff on Alakazam Unlimited. There's a lot of content, really. And the thing about it is, it feels like an easy platform to navigate. And what I mean by that is the team at Alakazam, and especially Jamie Dawes, has spent a lot of time and effort making sure that the platform itself is very easy to use. The layout is very similar to Netflix. When you get onto Alakazam Unlimited, it's something that you're going to be very used to. You're going to be able to navigate around it very, very easily. And it's very user intuitive. And what I mean by that is everything's broken down. So if you want to know coin magic, there's a coin magic section you can look at. If you want to go and look at what a particular creator has on the platform, you can click on that creator and you're going to be able to see that. If you want to know what a card routines are on there, you can look at that. If you want to know what the latest journey is, you can look at that. You want to look at exclusive new content or mentalism or whatever it is, you can do that as well. The other thing that Alakazam are doing is they are offering sort of Academy Lights. The first one has just been done a little while ago. Simon Lipkin did an Academy just for Alakazam Unlimited customers, and it's all about acting in magic and mentalism, which is a fascinating academy. So they are actually starting to do sort of mini academies in there as well. And just really the amount of value that they're putting into this platform is just incredible. Now, on top of all of that, they've got courses that they're doing as well. And Andy Smith has put together a couple of really great courses on coin magic, for example, which is kind of a 0 to hero coin magic course that takes you through everything that you need to know in order to start doing coin magic. And they've got a lot of these courses that they're actually planning as well. And because of everything, it's all very easy to navigate. There's a forum on there as well, so people can use the forum. If you're an Alakazam Unlimited member, you can use the forum. And the other thing about this is the attention to detail is just ridiculous. And what I mean by that, and I was speaking to Jamie about this a little while ago, every single trick that's on there has its own thumbnail. So it's very easy to differentiate one from the other. And it's little attention to detail, little things like that that really push this in another direction. And here's the thing, and this is the most ridiculous thing that I can say about this whole thing. Alakazam Unlimited is £4.99 a month, which is ridiculously cheap. So you pay £4.99 a month. It's a subscription rolling platform, which means that you subscribe, and if you ever want to cancel, you can. And by subscribing at that £4.99 a month, you've got access to absolutely everything. And you can stream whatever you want to stream, and then when you cancel, that's it. You don't have access to it anymore. Just like Netflix and just like Amazon Prime and so on and so forth. But the price is very, very good. Very, very reasonable, especially with everything that's on there. Alakazam are currently kind of adding one new course a week, but they're planning on upping that to I think 8 a month is what they're planning on doing, so maybe 2 a week, which is great. And you know, they have been doing that ever since the platform launched. And this, you know, I was on there the other night, and it's a little bit like YouTube for me. I went on Alakazam Unlimited, and I was tinkering around and looking at this and looking at that and looking at the other. Before I knew it, I'd been on there for like 4 or 5 hours, and there'd been a ton of stuff that had been recommended to me. It's great. It's really good. Now, there's one other thing that's worth noting, and Jamie Dawes gave me an exclusive on this on a recent interview I did with him. But Alakazam are adding a Legends section to Alakazam Unlimited. Now, what is the Legends section? Well, Alakazam have actually reached a deal with Murphy's to be able to stream to their Alakazam Unlimited users a bunch of material from people that put projects out with L&L. If you don't know, Murphy's owns the L&L back catalogue, and they've leased some of those courses to Alakazam, which is amazing, because a lot of the L&L stuff you're never going to see. It's just never going to be able to see it. But with this, you can. So they're starting to put Legends content on there and put people like Max Maven, like David Roth, like Jay Sankey. So on top of all of the back catalogue from Alakazam, and let's be honest, the back catalogue is amazing. Anybody who knows the material, Michael Vincent or John Carey or Paul Gordon or Steve Della, or you know, these juggernauts in the industry, anybody who knows the type of material that they've put on here over the previous years knows that, like, the stuff that Alakazam have the opportunity to put on Unlimited is just insane. But you then add all of the Legends content as well, and the sky's the limit. It really is ridiculous. And the other thing is, Alakazam have done a 7-day free trial at the moment. So you can sign up, try it out for 7 days for free, check out all of the content on there. And at the end of the 7 days, you then can decide whether you want to keep it on or not. And if you do, you can. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. And if you do, it's only £5 a month for as long as you're on there. I mean, it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. I made some notes. I wanted to talk about specific things that I'd seen that were really good. And, you know, I could go on Alakazam Unlimited every day for like the next year and still not see everything. There's so much stuff on there. But I wanted to talk about a couple of bits and pieces that I saw that I thought were really good. So one thing that stood out to me is, and I've got 7 things that I want to talk about. And the first thing is fruit cocktail. Now, fruit cocktail, if you don't know what fruit cocktail is a routine by Joel Dickinson. And Joel uses this in his stage show, and it's basically a really awesome version of the baby gag. So he has a bag on the table, and he has someone think of a piece of fruit. And when they think of this piece of fruit, he opens up the bag and pulls out a fruit cocktail. So all of the fruit that you could possibly think of are in this tin. And eventually opens the tin, and there's no fruit cocktail in there. Inside, there's just a pear. Now, giving it that very basic description does not do this routine justice. You see a live performance of Joel doing this in front of a live audience, and I'm telling you right now, if you're a stage magician, this is something you're going to want to add to your act immediately. I really like that. That was great. By the way, the other thing that I loved as a consumer of this, as somebody who's using it as an end user, I loved how simple it was to be able to go on there and look at the performance, look at the explanation. Everything was well laid out. It was very user intuitive, which was great. Then you have Computer Pack. Now, Computer Pack is a fantastic routine. That's a little bit like Dunbury Delusion. It's a little bit more difficult than the original Dunbury Delusion. And there's some advanced card moves in there. But in essence, what you're doing is you're doing a Dunbury Delusion style routine with a 4-of-a-kind kicker at the end. And how that was actually got to and how that was put together was really, really good, I thought. Now, Twister, oh my God. Twister is great. So Twister is one of Paul Gordon's routines, and I very much like Twister. So Twister is this routine where, in fact, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to perform it for you. I'm going to actually do a performance of Twister. This is something that Paul Gordon teaches after, or routines into after Diminishing Not Lightly. So he does Diminishing Not Lightly, and then he goes into this Twister routine. It's very, very strong, very, very strong. And it's a great version of Twisting the Aces. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to do a performance of it very quickly, and you can learn this on Unlimited. Okay, so Jack, I'm going to tell you about probably one of the greatest magicians of all time. His name was Di Vernon. You probably heard of him. And Di Vernon is pretty much known as the godfather of magic. A lot of the routines that you see performed by magicians today were developed by him. The way that we see an ambitious card, the way that we see cups and balls, the way that we see linking rings. This goes on and on and on. It was Vernon that kind of developed those routines. And I first started reading about Vernon in the Stars of Magic and the Vernon Chronicles. But there's one particular routine that he's famous for, and it's called Twisting the Aces. Nice. So cool because he took the 4 aces and he gave them a twist and something amazing happened. Now I'm actually going to show you what that routine looks like. I'm not going to use the aces, I'm going to use the queens. But even though I'm using the queens, the concept is still exactly the same. Which is that I'm going to twist these cards and something amazing is going to happen. And I'll tell you what's going to happen actually. The cards are going to turn over. Now notice I don't physically turn the packet over. I just twist it. Now watch what happens when I twist. It doesn't look like I do anything. It's not like I've flipped a card over. I've just twisted the packet round, orientated it in a different direction. But that automatically causes one of those cards to turn over.
Nice.
Let me do it again. Look, you just give a little twist like this. And when you do, one of those queens turns over. Let me do it again. Watch. You can do it as slow as you want to. You just twist like this, and every time you do, one of those queens turns over. That's number 3. That one's the Queen of Hearts. This one's the hardest one, but I'll do it anyway for you. It goes in between the others. You give a little twist, and when you do, that's the final one turned over. That's all 4 cards turned over.
Oh.
Well, it's the technique that Vernon used and developed called the twist. Now, here's the thing. He used aces, which is why when he published it, he called it Twisting the Aces, not Twisting the Queens. I used the queens. But if I wanted to do it like Vernon did it, I'd have to do this.
Do what?
Not snap the fingers. Because what that would do is that would give us, instead of the queens, the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. And that, my friend, is Twisting the Aces. Okay, so, I mean, Paul Gordon's got a ton of stuff on Alakazam Unlimited, but that Twister routine, that is great. Like, really, really good. A lot of Paul's stuff is great, but that's awesome. And I'm going to start doing that. Somehow I've missed that from... I've got a lot of Paul Gordon books, a lot of DVDs, a lot of downloads, but I've missed that. Next, I'm going to talk to you about a new routine. So, in other words, this is one of the new original content. And this is... When I saw this... I immediately text Peter Nardi and said, oh my God, this is awesome. You fooled the crap out of me. And it's Cyclone. And the reason I text Pete Nardi and told him that is because this is one of Pete's routines. And this is a new and exclusive routine. So this isn't from the back catalogue. The only place you can learn this is off the project. And it's called Cyclone. And in essence, you've got a deck of cards, 2 decks of cards. One deck's put to one side. They pick which deck they hold on to. And you go through this very fair procedure of having them pick a card. And then you take the other deck, and ultimately, at the end of the day, you find their card, but you do so in a very, very, very cool way. I've never seen anything like this before. I think this is great. It's a very simple procedure. This is pretty much self-working. It's going to work itself. You will be able to do this 5 minutes after watching Cyclone, but you're going to look at it and you're going to go, oh my gosh, that's really clever. And the tutorial, Pete sits down with Wayne Goodman, and Wayne has some really nice ideas for this as well. But Cyclone is brilliant. I'm definitely going to start doing Cyclone. I also want to talk to you about the 11p trick. James Brown has got quite a lot of stuff on the on there. So on Alakazam Unlimited, James Brown has got a ton of material. And one of the things he's got is the 11p trick, which, when I first started studying James Brown's material, everybody was doing the 11p trick. It's a way of doing hopping halves or confusing coins, but without using a ton of shells. It's a very simple gimmick that you can make yourself within 0.3 seconds. And this very simple gimmick that you can make yourself allows you to do a very clean version of hopping halves and ends up with a production of a pot of jam. Hence the reason the DVD that James brought out originally back in the day was Fancy a Pot of Jam. The 11p trick is amazing, and all you need is... my friend Nemi Phoenix, who I talk about all the time, has been one of the best close-up magicians in the world. He uses Fancy a Pot of Jam all the time. In fact, we were in a restaurant the other day having breakfast, having stayed over a gig, and we were having breakfast in this restaurant, and he stole one of the pots of jam from there because he's like, I lost my pot of jam and I can't not have a pot of jam. I need to do the 11p trick. So, and the cool thing is, by the way, you don't have to use a pot of jam. There's a million other ways to go with it instead of a pot of jam. But if you don't know the 11p trick, I think that's the trick that's performed by most non-coin magicians. If you're not into coin magic, you'll be able to pick this up very, very easily. So, that's the 11p trick. A lot of James's materials on there, but that stood out to me, as did Slot Machine. So Slot Machine is Michael Vincent's version of the classic Slot Machine plot. Now, normally, Slot Machine, if you don't know what Slot Machine is, it's a wonderful routine where you make 3 coins vanish, and you're talking about playing slots in the casino, and you end up with a production of like 15 or 20 $half. And there's a lot of different ways to do this, and the majority of the ways involve palming about 20 coins through the whole of the routine. And I remember being at the Wolverhampton Magic Circle probably a decade ago, watching Michael Vincent lecture on this and getting completely fooled, because the method that he used, he didn't have the coins in palm the entire time. He stole them in a very, very clever way at just the right point. And I remember that was the highlight of the lecture for me. And I've always considered Michael Vincent's version of the slot machine to be the best version of the slot machine ever created. And that's just there on Alakazam. That's actually the one negative that I would say. I've just mentioned 2 coin tricks, the 11p trick and slot machine. And obviously I talked earlier on about Andy Smith's coin magic courses. I'd like to see more coin magic on Alakazam Unlimited. Now, maybe that's just coming from me because I'm a coin guy, but I would like to see more coin magic. But I'm sure that'll come over time. They've only just started to develop the platform. They have the ability to put so much stuff out there. I'm sure they'll be adding more coin magic. They're trying to make it so that everybody gets some stuff. The mentalists get something, the card magicians get something, the stage magicians get something, the coin magicians get something, the kids magicians get something. So I understand. The one other thing I want to talk about is Dice Telepathy. So Dice Telepathy is by John Carey. Now, if you don't know John Carey is an amazing magician. I think he's brought out 45,000 books and 487 products with Alakazam. He publishes a lot. He's probably created more tricks than most people have had hot dinners. And it's normally card tricks or coin tricks. This is a bit of a different one for him because it's not a card trick or a coin trick, it's a dice trick. But it's kind of an interesting principle. This Dice Telepathy If you're a mentalist, this is a great way of doing like a Visa Cabaret style routine. If you know Visa Cabaret, this kind of felt to me a bit like Visa Cabaret, but you don't have to hold anything. If you know Stephen Tucker's original Visa Cabaret, you're holding the wallet the whole time as they take the bills out. But with this, you've got some dice. He turns his back the entire time. He gets them to mix these dice up until there's no way he could know which one's where. He then tells them to pick them up and put them in various different pockets, and he's immediately able to tell you which pockets the dice are in. I remember thinking when I was watching it, it's a little bit procedural, but you could very easily kind of turbocharge that procedure. And the procedure has a reason, because it makes the whole sequence look more impossible. But the way that you're doing it with your back turned the entire time and the possibility that this opens up, this is great. And that was just scratching the surface. I just wanted to pick out some stuff that I saw that I thought was really good. And that's an example of some of the stuff that I saw on there that was really good. We haven't even talked about Tom Peterson's, rest in peace, Tom Peterson's card stab. We haven't talked about a bunch of other stuff that's on there, but they're constantly adding more value. They're constantly adding more value. I'm heading over to Alakazam on the September to film a bunch of projects. It's going to be busy. I'm going to do academies. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff. But they've all said to me, Jamie's contacting me, Harry's contacting me, Pete's contacted me and said, while you're here, you need to do some stuff for Alakazam Unlimited. That's really important. And it's almost like this Unlimited platform is as important, if not more important, than the physical products that they're bringing out, which is great. It just shows how important this is to Pete, Harry, Andy, Emma, Jamie, Chris, Billy Bob, James, Julie, all of the people that are at Alakazam HQ. It shows how important this platform is. I think they want this to be the crown jewel of their platform, and it's why they're spending so much time and effort working on it and developing it and improving it, and as they should. It's amazing. So, look, I'm going to give Alakazam Unlimited 100%. I subscribe to a lot of platforms. I subscribe to the Netrix. I subscribe to Christian Grace. I subscribe to the Society of Secrets with Lloyd Barnes. I subscribe to the Real Underground with Jake Keane. I subscribe to the Netrix. Maybe I mentioned that before. The Netrix. Subscribe to the Netrix. I subscribe to a bunch of them, really, a bunch of them. And I am a happy subscriber of Alakazam Unlimited. I think that the platform is great. I think the back catalogue that they have is just going to make it better and better. I can see they're constantly adding new stuff. I think the journeys are great. The courses are great. The little Alakazam Academy lights they do in there are great. And I just think it's going to go from strength to strength. It's why I'm giving it 100%. And I cannot imagine there's a magician out there that won't go into there and not find some amazing magic that they can put straight into their act, regardless of whether a stage performer, a close-up performer, a card magician, a coin magician, you're going to find something. So there you go. That's another review show special in the bag. It's all on Alakazam Unlimited. You can go and join Alakazam Unlimited right now by going to www.alakazam.co.uk and going on there, hit on Unlimited, and you get a 7-day free trial. So try it out and see what you think. That's it. Thank you very much. Now, once you've subscribed to Alakazam Unlimited, you're obviously going to want to go into another streaming platform. So if there's another one that you want to go to, it's the Netrix. Go to www.thenetrix.com. Go check it out. See what all the fuss is about. You can go and join immediately. Thousands of tricks on there. It's my streaming platform for magicians. So, Alakazam Unlimited and the Netrix, a match made in heaven. But I'll see you again soon. Thank you once again for joining me right here on the Netrix. No, this is the Netrix, right here on Magic TV. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And if you haven't already done so, go check out the Q&A from earlier this week, from earlier today. It's a good one this week. And also, go and check out the interview from yesterday as well, from the Talk Magic interview from yesterday. Anyway, I'll be back again soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Craig, and this is Magic TV.